Burley Sew.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Burley Sew. I'm your host Purified, and today we're going to take a look at how to do a narrow rolled edge on a 4-thread serger. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. So today what we're going to be doing is pretty universal, I would imagine, to all different sergers out there. It's using a 4-thread serger to do a narrow rolled edge, which is a good decorative finish for lots of different things: tablecloths, napkins, runners, things like that. So let's take a look at what items we'll need to get started here. You're going to need the Allen wrench that came with your machine. That'll unscrew the hex screw that holds in the needles. And your trusty tweezers, you need that. And then if you don't have your needles in, you're going to need your needles. And if you have 2 of them in, you can take one out and put it back in the container for labeling and safekeeping. Make sure to take off the presser foot if the presser foot's on, because it'll make it much easier to work with the presser foot removed. And now make sure that your needles are in the upward position. You can tell if you have your knife on that the knife will be fully extended up. And we're going to go ahead and take out the left or the outside needle. That's the one we're going to remove right here to do a narrow. You can do a wide by leaving the left, but today we're doing a narrow. And you can trim your threads here if you wish. Some people leave them in until they're done removing the needle, because it'll help when the needle falls out of the needle holder when you undo the screw. So now we'll take our hex key and undo the needles. I'm holding both needles in my right hand, and then I'm just going to slip down, straight down this left one, and you can see I've got it in my hand there. I'm going to set that down, and then go grab my Allen wrench and then tighten this back up, making sure that the right needle's fully pushed up to the stop. And then we'll just give it that little snug. You don't want to go too tight. But now you can see we've got just the right inside needle left. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the extra stitch finger. And you want to make sure that the upper looper is in the most downward position. So this would be opposite of changing the needles. So just rotate the hand wheel towards you until it's all the way down. And then you're going to zoom in here, and you'll see the little tab where you grab it right there by the yellow arrow to the right of it, that tab. And then right below is a little pedal, like a little clutch that you're just going to push in with your thumb, and it's going to spring right out. So you're going to want to hold on to it, but I'm just going to end up pushing it in, letting you see it, because I'm only got one free hand. So we're going to push that in. And then it just comes out. So that's the stitch finger. And then there's a little storage spot for the stitch finger right on the utility cover in the front. You can see there those 2 little holding arms, and then you just set it in there like that, push it down, and holds it right into place. Now the machine's ready for threading. You can see how to thread this particular machine. I'll put up a link here and then in the description, but to save time we'll skip that and we'll go to the next part, which is setting the tension. We won't be using this first one, the left needle, so we'll be working with the right needle and then the upper looper and the lower looper. This is a good starting point for a light woven type of material, and you're gonna just adjust your stitch a few times until you find the sweet spot. So I'm gonna start with 4 on the right needle. I'm gonna go 5 on the upper looper, and then I'm gonna go a little bit tighter on the lower looper on 7, and that's gonna help bring the material and make it that little roll that's needed. So now let's take a look at the length and width settings. I'm going to set both the width and the length to the R value, which is for rolled. It's the shortest length and the shortest width. And then as far as my feed dogs, I'm going to just leave those where they are. Mine kind of has off the mark a little bit, so I'm going to erring on the shorter side of the number. And it's also dependent on what type of material you're using. So thicker material will have different numbers. It's just a starting point, basically. So we're putting our foot back on. We've got the foot on, and we're going to give these settings a try. See what the stitch looks like. So this next little montage of videos, you're going to see that I start off with 4 on the right needle, 3 on the upper looper, and then 7, actually 6 here on the lower looper. So what I'm going to end up doing through the next couple video clips here is you'll see me needing to adjust primarily the upper looper, trying to get that perfect looking stitch. And as I said earlier, your initial stitch right there might look pretty decent, but it doesn't hurt to try a few different settings in that range if this is the first time that you're doing a rolled edge. So real quick here, you'll see me roll up to 5, and I did that real fast, so let me slow that down so you can see it again in slow motion. There you go, I'm rolling it up to 5. So now I'm at 4, 5, and 7. And that's what I end up with. And as I said earlier, depending upon the type of material and thread that you're using, you might end up with some different settings. If you have a little bit thicker material or thinner, you're going to have to adjust those tensions accordingly. So take a scrap piece and give it a whirl and see which settings look best for you. Now I've been through these about 4 different times at 4 different tension settings, and we'll take a look and see which ones look better. There's a definite difference, you can tell. As I said, the first one can look good, but then as you do a few different settings, you can get better results, as you can see. This is the one that I like the most on the top there, on the larger piece of material, and these were earlier attempts with different tension settings, looser tension settings, and that was getting a little bit tighter right there. And then this one I think kind of nailed it. This really makes a nice decorative edge. Well, that's the video. I hope you found it helpful. If you like what you saw, check out the channel. There's plenty more videos. Subscribe, share it with your friends. I'm Purified, and thanks for watching Burley Sew.